Look at us hydrating.
We need it.
Cheers to the water.
Extra. I have to extra hydrate. One, I won't have a voice, but two, I don't make any damn sense. I mean, I don't make a lot of sense half the time, but if I don't hydrate or like nourish myself before this and like talking, none of it's clicked. I've had an episode where I wasn't hydrated and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't it. That wasn't it, bro. That wasn't it.
Well, you know me. I have my water routine every day, so I don't do
I know.
well if I don't get a lot of water.
I know. I miss the office for that reason and that reason only. I
Yeah.
miss a workplace routine. It kept me more in alignment with steps and with water. That is my only work from home thing that stinks. The rest is great. I mean, but like, I don't miss like going meeting to meeting. Like you magically get steps in. You know what I mean? Or you're like moving around the building or
You
like
do. Yeah.
hopping around, grabbing water. I don't experience that. So like it can't be like a muscle memory. I have to not force it, but it has to be like an intent. Like I have to really set an intention to
Like very
drink
intentional.
water. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I just, even when I'm home, it's like, okay, I do a gallon of water a day. So I have to go dump my water bottles in, or, 2 of these a time. Get in at least 4 of those. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I try. I have my Awala and I try to drink 4 of those. And I do get there. Some days, honestly, it's just 2. Some days it's 1. And that's not the best, but it's better than nothing. But I do try to drink electrolytes every day or some form of salt or something somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Use salt all the time. We got this little crushed ice machine at work now.
that's so fun.
Yeah, it just sits on the counter and oh my gosh, because I love it when your water's extra cold and the little nugget
Yeah.
ice. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a win.
That is nice. That's a nice little perk.
Yeah.
The nugget ice machine. Yeah, we call it like Sonic
Yeah.
ice. I don't know, like
Is that what you call
Sonic's
it there?
not super,
Yeah.
yeah, Sonic's not super popular out there. I don't know, or I never went to Sonic when I lived out west.
No, I think it's more popular where you're at, right?
Yeah,
In the east or
yeah,
south.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
They
somebody
used to
was
have
just
roller
talking
skates.
about Sonic the other day. And it's something I was listening to, and like they had their little tradition, like every Friday night them and their partner would go eat at Sonic.
Oh my gosh. Well, when I lived here, I went all the time. It's like the best little date spot because you just drive up and they bring it to your window. Like
Yeah.
you don't leave the car,
Yeah.
And then like they do crazy shakes. Like you can get milkshakes on sale for like 2 cents, not really, but like really cheap after 8 o'clock. And then the drinks, like I know people in the summer that will go just get a drink and then drive off because they do drink deals. Like they get like a little something in like a cherry limeade. And it's just like a popular quickie, like go in, get something refreshing, and then you're out. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've only ever eaten at Sonic one time. We were on a motorcycle trip. It's been a long time ago.
They used to bring your food in roller skates back in the day.
Yeah, that's right.
And so,
They don't
like,
do that anymore.
no, you'll die. I would die. No. I'm not built for a couple things. 1, professional sports. I figured that out this weekend. And 2, roller skating with food. That's not meant for me. Not in my wheelhouse. You're not going to catch me doing either one of those. So, yeah.
Funny. I used to roller skate, but never with food. I haven't done it in years.
Yeah, I don't think the food would happen for me. I don't mind a roller skate in a rink, in a circular facility with rails nearby in case I go, ape shit. I don't know, like there has to be something guarded, but you're not going to catch me at the skate park on a half pipe. So, no.
So what happened this weekend with professional sports?
I couldn't do it, dude. I was watching these people cry and like I watched the game tonight. So it's Sunday, folks, when you hear this. I was watching the Texans and the Patriots and I would have went home. I mean, he threw like 4 interceptions. I would have just been like, I think my mama's calling me and I gotta go.
My curfew's coming.
Yeah, like my mom's here. I need to leave. Like I wouldn't even go through the locker room. I'd just go to the parking lot and get in the car. Like I have so much respect for these people. And like I was watching poor Josh Allen last night and like he made some not great moves, but then I feel like the NFL is scripted That's my conspiracy theory, and there was some
No
crazy
shit, right?
calls.
Some of those
Yeah,
calls were really
it was
questionable.
bizarro. Yeah, like, honestly, I know the Panthers suck, like, no one has to tell me that, but after watching that game and that last drive, I'm like, "Okay, this shit's scripted." Like, that was the craziest, like, "Oh, here's a touchdown." You know what I mean? And then turn it around, and then I've watched several I've watched almost every one of them, but then especially yesterday and those calls were just the craziest calls. Like, literally, one team never got a call against them, and then the other team did the exact same thing,
Mhm.
and they got all the calls against, the Bills. Like, it was just the craziest thing. But my favorite thing is I've told myself, this is my other conspiracy, that Bo Nix broke his ankle celebrating in the locker room, not actually on the field, because I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Like, they're like, "Oh, he did it during the last drive or something," and there's video now, but, like, before that, I'm like, "What do you mean the dude broke his freaking ankle?" Like, he didn't even wince, and he did his, like, post-game shit and was, like, totally fine. And so, like, my theory is, like, he did it in the locker room, and they were too embarrassed to say, like, where he really did it,
Yeah,
but that's my
that's funny.
new.
I didn't watch any of the replays to see because I was thinking the same thing when I heard they announced he broke his ankle. I'm like, "When?"
Yeah, Blake
But
didn't believe me. We got in an altercation about it. I'm like, like, it's on the internet. I don't know. I mean, unless I'm reading,
I
like,
mean, if it's on the internet, it's gonna
satire.
be true.
Well, when 6 places report on it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, there's a little more sources. It's not like a satire, you know? But I've laughed so hard, and then my, brother-in-law, Eric, went to the game,
Uh-huh.
and he texted us at, like, it was, like, 11 o'clock almost our time, and he's like, "This is fucking stupid." And so I'm assuming that he got berated, and it was already really bad. Like, the Broncos fans were chewing him out in the middle of the game, in his face. He said the whole
Oh, because
time he
he's a
couldn't even
Bills.
get to the car. Yeah, he was wearing Bills gear, and he said he couldn't even get to the car. Like, 5 different groups tried to fight them. And I'm like, "Why are they fighting you? They won." Like, what are we fighting the man for? Like, you're not Josh Allen. You won though, bro. Like, I don't know. So I was wishing him well on his journey back home. But he sent some heated messages to us. So we're like, I guess he made it. I don't know. I don't know what
Still alive.
happened to him. Yeah,
It's so
SOS.
funny because I've said that a few times this season. I've never said that before, but I'm like, I even feel like the NFL's rigged. I don't trust it all.
That's
Yeah.
where I'm at. I think that there's stories to be told. And I have felt this way again. I know the Panthers suck, folks. No one has to call me. But the 2015 Super Bowl, bro, like the one where the Broncos won, Cam Newton they went almost undefeated. They went almost undefeated. And they get to the game, and because it was, what's his face? Oh my God. The stupid quarterback. What's his name? Peyton
Tim
Manning.
Tebow?
He's not stupid. No, Peyton Manning. It was Peyton Manning's
Oh,
last year.
Peyton
He was
Manning. Yes,
retiring.
that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
And they
Yeah.
won. But like Cam Newton,
Yeah.
and I love Cam Newton. I think he's we talk about like the authenticity level. Dude, Cam Newton's authentic as hell. I love everything about the guy. And that game, man just like went, look, like it was the weirdest. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And ever since then, that's almost been over 10 years ago. I've been like, this is weird. Like, how do you go
Mhm.
undefeated, rock'em sock'em robots, and then you turn to this game and then like it felt like they wanted Peyton Manning to win because it was his retirement game.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've been questioning it ever since. So,
Yeah.
and now I'm really,
It's
this
money,
season's
man.
been weird as
I don't
hell.
trust it.
It's been
Money.
weird
Oh,
as
it's
hell.
been so
Yeah,
weird.
it's so weird. And like every game the Panthers have been in, because for those who pay any attention to the South, what are we, the NFC South? I don't even freaking know. I think so.
I don't
If you've
know.
paid any attention to the shittiest division of the league, you've had all these moments where it's been like this team could win or this team could win, or it was like battle back and forth between the Panthers and the Buccaneers. But I watched all of those games, those like defining moments. Okay, like this is going to win the Panthers and this is going to win this and that. There was one game though, and the calls were so outrageous. Like I saw the internet even be like, look, I'm not even a Panthers fan, and what I just witnessed was not real life. Like they lost the game due to calls. Like that was crazy. And even the internet was saying like, I'm pretty sure they did it so that the Panthers and Bucks, or no, that so that the Saints and the Falcons had to decide, like to get people to watch that game for that
Yeah.
deciding factor of who's going to go. So I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. starting to click. And my gut intuition's not always wrong, folks. So I'm like,
It's usually right, actually.
I'm like, this is getting little fishy. So
Yeah.
I don't know. This season's really proved to me some fucked up shit.
I'm with you. I agree with you.
So,
Well, I mean,
anyways, this
if anybody out there's looking for football analysts, look us up.
analyst, call me. Yeah, because
Call
I
us.
call us if you want comedic, no fucking
Truth.
statistical
Yeah, there's
truth,
no statistical reasons behind anything
gut
we say.
feelings. Yeah, no, okay, this is really funny. I actually had a conversation about why people should invest in the Panthers franchise today to Blake. And he's like, this isn't New York Fashion Week. Because I'm like, well, their colors are dope. Their mascot's pretty badass. The arena is gorgeous. And I'm like, why wouldn't they want this team to succeed? Anyways, and Blake's like, Myra, like, that has nothing to fucking do with it. And I'm like, I think so. From a marketing standpoint, like, I would invest in this group. Like, they got it. They got the Riz. And yeah, Blake was making fun of me. So 0 analytical facts, totally based on my thoughts and feelings.
Girls.
Yeah.
Well, one day
We'll
might
make
find
0
out we're right.
cents, but
It's all scripted and bullshit.
yeah.
Could come out.
Yeah, I know. I saw this thing. It's like life is just The Sims. And I mean, it kind of is. I mean, if you think about it, like when you talk about manifestation in your realities, we're just in the game of The Sims. What version do you want it to be?
Yeah.
So the NFL's there with it.
Just a simulation.
Yep.
All right. Well, now that we're done analyzing NFL.
The season's over. Well, they're stupid. There's a Super Bowl now, but I don't give a fuck. I've lost interest, so.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Out.
I'm like,
whatever.
Anybody, I guess, I don't really care. I prefer that Seattle doesn't win, but whatever. Just because they beat the 49ers pissed me off.
I know, that was so bad. It was very bad.
It was horrible.
It was so bad. Yeah. I mean, I'm going for the Patriots.
Ass kicking.
Yeah, I'm going for Drake May because he was the QB for UNC.
Gotcha.
I care about that much and that much alone. And then past that, I don't give a shit. We hope for them to do something. Whatever. Other than that, I don't care. I'm done. I'll shut up now. Go ahead.
No. Do you want to kick us off with our topic for this week? Or do you want me to?
Yeah. So, yeah, I can. Tress and I were chatting before, and we both were saying similar things. And the topic we landed on is talking about really old timelines. And like, yes, those timelines, those moments in the past, they do hold memories, and there's nothing wrong with a memory, but it's getting stuck in patterns, old behaviors, wanting to stay there, being complacent, not taking risk, wanting to just stay in those moments because the comfortability feels comfortable. Literally, you're just, it feels good.
It's comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. When things are familiar, they feel fucking great. And, and I was mentioning to even just altering those timelines signals a chain of reaction for your own personal quantum jump. And, when you go through a quantum jump, there are many, many definitions of this. And I'm not going to get into the very high level definition, but basically, when you interrupt your day to day, or you do something or you do something that moves you out of your simulation, literally, you signal to the universe, I'm ready for the next thing. And when you do that, universe, God, source, whomever, when you do that, it then is like a chain reaction to line up the next things for you and your highest good. Now you don't. You can stay in the old forever and do nothing. And I don't know. That might not be the best for you because it's comfortable. When Tress and I were talking about it, there's a couple ways to view this too, because I do believe in nostalgia. And especially there are little things that bring warmth to me, bring good to me. A lot of childhood things, really popular right now is reminiscing on 2016 for people on the internet. And it's mostly my generation, honestly, I think, because 2016, I was 21. So hell yeah, it was fucking fun. It was amazing. I was on so many side quests. I did the craziest shit when I was 21 years old. So I got married to quit it, to stop it. I did something crazy. I was like, I got to get married. But I think about like 2016. I graduated college in 2016, and that was really cool for me. And so now I've been a college graduate for 10 years, but I think about those moments and I'm happy, but I'm not like, oh God, I wish I was on college. I wish I was on campus. Like, I want it to be the same. I want to go back. And I don't want to go back to 2016. I appreciate what happened for me in those moments and all of the side quests. I haven't been on my Snapchat in years. And that's where all of my 2016's archived the last time I touched it. And I found like mud wrestling shit and like crazy stuff, folks. And like it was fun. And I was there and I had a blast. I was in an HBO documentary in 2016. Oh my gosh. Like it was so cool. But I'm not looking back at 2016 and thinking, damn, I peaked. That was
Yeah,
it.
that was it.
Like that. Yeah. Like, cause I've lived I could tell you so many amazing experiences that's happened since then, right? That are just as great and profound and cool. But when I look back on that timeline and those moments, everything that I did had to equal what my life looks like now. And this is where I can bring up one of my first, I guess, quantum jumping. I randomly married a man from Wyoming. Yes, I loved him, but I didn't know him truly. And like, that is safe and okay to say. I can be very honest about that. And I did that at 21 years old and completely packed up my life in North Carolina and moved across the country. And so that was the first time that I interrupted my pattern, right? Like I interrupted the day to day, what my family did, live in the same town, stay in the same place, work here locally, da 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 da, marry this person da da da. And there's nothing wrong with those things. But for me, I would have never experienced. So here's that part I said I didn't know. This is great. I do know because if I wouldn't have done that, I would have never experienced the life that I lived those 7 years I lived in Wyoming. And a lot of fucking shit happened. My career took
Mhm.
off. I met amazing people. I, built a home. I built a family. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things. I learned so much. I experienced amazing trips. Some of the best travel I ever did was during those 7 years. Like there are beautiful, magnificent things that took place just because I stepped out of my comfort zone. And I do love him and we do love each other, but we've been married almost 10 years now. So like I can easily look back on it now and be like, yeah, man, I don't think we knew each other.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that I took that leap of faith and trusted my gut. And it could have went many ways. I didn't have a crystal ball. I didn't know how it was going to go, but I trusted what I knew in my gut and I felt it and he felt it. And I think honestly, we had such a gravitational pull or a magnetism, I guess. Like it
Yeah,
was like,
energetically.
yeah, dude, it's like
Yeah.
2 people lock in and you're like, "I've known
Yeah.
you my whole life. I've known
Yeah.
you my whole life. Like, I don't even need to know anything else." And it was a different kind of love. Like, I had never experienced that before. And I had been in many different relationships for various amount of times, right? And so, like, I trusted that instinct and I took my first jump.
Yeah.
And then this is the life that has unfolded since, right?
It's interesting you said something that about comfortability and familiarity, right?
Mhm.
Like, but what I find more often than not, and I can say this for myself and as I've worked with clients for a decade now, is that familiarity can be very uncomfortable, right? Like it can be not joyful, it can be not fulfilling, all of those
Yep,
things, but that
yep,
fear keeps you desiring that
yes,
familiar energy, right?
yep,
So that is something that I think keeps people in stuck in patterns, right? Or stuck
mhm,
in energy patterns that don't serve them. That
yeah,
familiar energy. And I do think it is comfortable when
mhm,
we think of the term comfortable in the fact that it's what they know. It doesn't
yes,
necessarily mean that they get joy and laughter and love out of it, right? That they're
yeah,
serving themselves, but it will keep them stuck. One of the things that came to me as you were talking was I was thinking about like getting stuck in timeline of around the holidays. So I remember this had to be,
mhm,
I don't honestly even know how long ago, 15 years maybe, maybe even longer. Christmas would come, the holiday, and a couple of things I would, we've been inundated with what Christmas looks like in Christmas movies and on TV and these big family
yeah,
gatherings
oh,
and
yeah,
the perfect turkey, yada, yada, yada. Okay. I remember one Christmas, like I said, or 15 years ago, I was just destroyed. Like, just was laying in my bed. I was crying. I was feeling sorry for myself because half my family's dead. And, I don't, my husband and I were
That's
here,
not
but I
funny.
mean, I'm not
I'm so
joking.
sorry.
No, it was funny. I mean, just in just this horrible space, I don't get to have the Christmases like I used to. I made this big image up in my mind that they were all great, which they weren't,
Well,
to
I've
be
been
quite
there. No,
honest,
I've been
when my
there. This is why
grandparents
I'm
were
laughing.
alive. No, it's hilarious, right? And so, I mean, I just remember just being a little fucking bitch. I was just brutal with myself, with Troy,
Yeah.
with everyone. Just, I'm miserable. This is
Yeah.
awful. And, I want, a different Christmas. I want it to look different.
Yeah.
And I remember at some point, not that day, that was a brutal Christmas, not that day. It didn't happen that quickly. But I remember at some point, once I started to kind of heal and understand things in a different way, is like now our Christmases can be so beautiful with just two people. Like a lot of times it's just Troy and I.
Yeah.
And we can, we have our own little traditions that I can enjoy. But every time I tried to live in that past timeline, it just made me horrible and miserable. And I wasn't
Yeah.
able to enjoy the gift of what I was given in the present time. I just,
Yeah.
and now I think about it so differently.
Mm.
And it was funny. I worked with two different women right before Christmas, both mothers.
Mhm.
And for different reasons, they both had holidays where they were going to spend them by themselves.
Yeah.
And the one was talking about how she can't believe she's got this big family and never in a million years did she think she'd be spending this holiday by herself.
Mhm.
And I said to her, I said, just take a moment to think about what it's going to gift you. What can
Mhm.
you do with the day for yourself? How can you spend the day exploring things that you enjoy? And she like, I never even thought about that. And she ended up
Yeah.
having a really great day, even though prior to that she thought she'd be miserable, right?
Yeah.
So that's the way I think about thinking about timelines, is nothing is meant to stay the same.
Mhm.
Everything is moving along. Everything happens in cycles. The cycle doesn't stop and stay there.
Yeah.
Your generation's different than my generation, right? You have different things that are you a millennial?
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I? Am I
Um,
Gen X? Gen
I
Z? I'm
think so.
fucking cool. That's what I am. No,
You're Gen X. You're a badass.
a
Just a
badass.
fucking badass. You're a badass.
But I mean, honest, like, if we try to look at each other and judge each other, we were brought up in
Mhm.
different ways for different reasons at different
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And, the more we can get comfortable with that and truly be in the present moment, I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to, is
Mm.
enjoying the present moment for what you have, not what you wish you
Yeah,
had.
I agree. I have gone through this with friends of mine, different family members of like painting a picture. And I have done it myself. I've done it myself where I have lingered in a memory, especially holidays,
Yes,
especially
holidays
events,
are
just
triggering.
events in general.
Yeah.
Like I should be doing this, like, or this should be happening this way. And I've only found sadness when I've harped on recreating that something that wasn't meant to be recreated. Now, can I bring different kind of joy to my personal family and we have our own thing? That is, yes, yes, I can. And I'm doing all that I can. But what I've noticed too is where people, they try to replicate something so hard, they end up burning out or they do too much or things don't go as planned. It becomes emotional. It becomes just not in alignment, and that's literally what's happening. Like, they're forcing an event to happen that is not meant to, it's not in flow. You're not flowing with the present, the timeline that you should be in, and you're trying so hard to replicate that it's like a I think of like a tack, like a thumbtack, like sticking out, and it's just painful, and you just keep stepping on it, keep stepping on it, and that's basically
Mhm.
what's happening. Like, it's you just keep hitting the sore spot over and over and over, and if you just surrendered to your own personal needs and tuned in to like, well, what do I even actually need in this moment, or what do my people need, or like what would actually bring us joy, then I feel like that's when it shifts, and you're focusing on that present moment versus when you were 5, or whatever, or even the year before, for gosh sakes, because every year my holidays have been different. I've never had
Yeah.
the same holiday. Well, like, I I do have a nuclear family. My family we're all together all the time, but the things that we've done, I've been in different states during the holidays. I've experienced different events. Sometimes we go to a parade, sometimes we don't go to a parade. Sometimes there's a performance, sometimes there's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not so worked up on whatever I did before doing it again either, you know. Cuz it can be as recent as just like a year. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be something that happened X amount of time ago, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think, that's allowing flow, that's allowing progress. If you try to keep things the same, you're never changing, you're never growing, you're never moving. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I was thinking about the other day, oddly, we used to have one of my cousins would do a cousin party every year around the
Mm,
holidays.
mhm.
And I had such good memories, but like it worked while it worked.
Yeah.
It worked for a few years. They were great. And it's funny because like what you're saying, if we tried to bring that back now, it would never work. It's just
Mm-mm.
the time it was perfect for what it was. We were
Yeah.
all in kind of that right age range, to make that kind of stuff happen. We were
Yeah.
younger and
Mhm.
a lot of my cousins yet didn't have children, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now today, it would be a completely different scenario, and to try to
Mhm.
recreate that, I think it would be hard. It would fall flat,
Yeah.
basically. So I agree with what you're saying there is like just let things move forward. And I think to your point, you always to me from the outside looking in, when you're not afraid, like, you just do
No.
shit. I mean, here I
I
am
just do it.
for listener land I was out of the country somewhere on a trip, and, Myra was on my team at the time, and I come back, and all of a sudden, somebody's like I hadn't even looked at social media because I was somewhere where I didn't have cell phone signal,
Yeah.
and one of the first messages I get is Myra moving? Her house is for sale." And I'm like, "What? What? I've only been gone a few weeks. What the hell is going on?" But that's one
I'm
thing that
crazy.
I truly admire about you is, like, once you know, and you just go. You just, like, you do it, and you'll figure it out. And I
Yeah.
have no doubt in my mind that you were meant to move back
Yeah.
home and be around your family there, no doubt in my mind. But it's
Yeah.
just it is something I admire about you. Because if that was Tressa sitting in that position, even if I know, sometimes I have to give
Yeah.
myself some time to get used to the idea. I would've
Yeah.
so I think that's really cool
Yeah.
and admirable. Not that you don't have fear, I don't it doesn't seem like you ever do to me, but I don't
It's
know.
under control. It lives. I think I really appreciate that. That's a compliment, and thank you. I really do move boldly. I really do. I honestly, anytime that I've ever had a feeling and it said act, I have never doubted acting. Like, nothing has led me astray in that action. And so I feel, for me personally, this is not everybody, if I marinate on something forever and ever and ever, then I'm no longer in flow. I'm trying to control, or I am trying to negotiate. We've talked about negotiation a lot,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm negotiating. That's another form of control. And honestly, let me rephrase. I have made decisions There's a difference. There's boldly and then there's hastily. But it's the intention behind it. Am I still trying to control an outcome? And I think one of my lessons, I don't think I need to stop using I think, because I do
Mhm.
know. But I'm softening my phrases, right? So I need to say I know. But I love that you brought that up because I did need to move. I was truly unhappy in that specific region. I enjoy in that region for a very, very long time. But every time I thought about it, there was a longing for me to not be in that location. But every time I was like, oh, but my job, I
Mhm.
make
All the
X amount of money,
excuses. Mhm.
my career, or my friends. And I do love these people too, or I would be like, oh, my kids go to school here. Oh, I have a family member here. Oh, Blake's job. And that was the biggest one. And even Blake was always like, ever have a job again? I don't even know what the logic was behind it. Was monkey mind, right? Like it was too logical. And this is the other flip side of it. When I never acted on those feelings like I should have probably done, and I do believe in divine timing. I do think I moved when I needed to move, but I do think that I prolonged it to a point where I had to have an event be the catalyst. And so
Mhm.
that's also something that I've had to learn over these last few years. And one of those things being, if I don't make the move and I stay in negotiation, some shit's going to fucking rock my boat.
Yeah.
And it happened. It did. And it was an event. And once that event happened, and it's in a very unfortunate event, but it opened Blake's eyes, and there was not even a doubt in his mind about having a job over here. And he got a job faster than I did. You know, I mean, like
Oh, he
his
got
shit
a job,
flew out
like,
the
in a
window
day, it felt
in
like.
2 seconds. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like boom, boom,
It was
boom.
like
I was
nanoseconds,
like,
and Blake had a job.
yeah. Yeah, he got like exactly the benefits,
Mhm.
exactly the amount of money we needed to move, exactly the salary. I mean, it was crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I'm over here like, what the hell's happening? But I had to have something that pushed us. But then it also sparked, because I want to bring this up too. When you make big, bold moves, you quantum jump. For me, in my specific time, I did have to continue to learn karmic lessons. I had to, like I've mentioned before, ego. I did have to have a karmic lesson of ego. I did have to have my identity completely rocked, stripped down, and brought to the core. And that first move set the dominoes. Honestly, it set it like a match. I didn't even a domino. It's like and the rest of the shit that I tried so desperately. And that's another thing, right? When we talk about intentions and control, I use the word desperate because I was desperate. I was in desperation and I was in negotiation, and I was so hard. It was so like desperate and tried so hard to hold on to the former timeline. I did not allow myself to integrate to the new timeline and what needed to be for me in that moment. And so because of that, multiple other events had to push me out of that timeline. So I learned a lot. Like one, I do need to act on instinct to boldly move to be in my next phase in my next chapter. And if I don't do that, the universe is going to absolutely be a catalyst and say, guess what? You can't hold on to this shit. You've got to go. And it did. So in the last couple years, I had multiple events happen to continue to push me into the next phase, into the next phase, and into the next phase. And I don't know if I would have done all of those phases on my own. I really can't say that right now. I wish, because it would have been maybe a little gentler, but here I am. So each phase that I was pushed into had to happen for me to continue growing in this timeline.
I think the universe, when you're listening to it and you're doing what you need, like, you get a little knock at first, right? And
Yeah.
then you don't listen. And then, the door gets blown down and you don't listen. And, so that's why, like, you knew things were coming, but that's why that big
Yeah.
event had to happen to
Yep.
really find that was the universe like, okay, bitch, like, shit's gonna get real,
Like,
real, real,
yeah, like get
real.
the real. I
Like,
know.
you
Well,
need
then,
to get moving.
and
Yeah.
I still held on, and I didn't
Yeah.
learn the lesson that time. And that's the beauty of life, folks. When you don't learn it the first time, that shit comes right back until you learn it. And it did really fast
It
for me. And
does.
I was also, if you even look at the planetary placements, I was in my Saturn return, which is also a whole bunch of fuckery for some folks, that age gap. I mean, all of these things were happening in a time span of like me being 27, 28, 29, right? So like those years where the world, you're like, "Ugh," your world, personal world, right? Your own universe is like, what's happening? And so I had to go through all those things, and I am grateful for it now because it pushed me to where I am. But something that I wanted to bring up before the garbly garb happened is that I believe in disrupting patterns, like your routine in some form, because we get in routines. Like when Tressa said it earlier, she is in a routine of drinking water. I mean, there's nothing, that's a beautiful routine, but it made me think about it. Like we're in these daily routines. We wake up at a certain time, we go here, we go to the gym at this time, or we do this. Like your day is basically mapped out. Almost, right? Like you kind of have an idea of what's going to flow down. And especially if you work a 9 to 5, or if you have some sort of set thing like school or wherever you're at in life, you know kind of what your day looks like. Well, something that I've started doing recently. So one, I've been scripting in the morning, scripting, if my accent said that right, but in the mornings about what I want my day to look like. And in the scripting, I have also, I'm saying these things are going to come to pass, but I've also been saying things that are out of my normal daily routine that are actionable And it has been the coolest shit of my life, guys. Like, this is why I was so jazzed to talk about this topic, because I don't have, I don't have like this crazy like story, but what I can say is I can recognize all the really cool shit happening for me personally. Like, this is so cool. I started this, and then that first day, I randomly entered into a jewelry contest. I'm not a jewelry designer. And I had wrote down, like, I don't even know what I wrote at the time. And I saw it and I was like, this is really cool. I would love to dedicate a piece to my grandma. She turns 90 this weekend. And I just did it. And you could replicate a piece of vintage jewelry. I didn't draw it, but I found a piece of jewelry. I made a video. I submitted it. I don't know what the hell is going to happen, but it was something that disrupted my timeline. That wasn't normally what Myra does. I've been, Tristan and I talked about the Tik Tocs. I've been doing it with zero. I mean, my only intention is that I'm getting comfortable with being visible. And so that is disruptive in my timeline. I don't normally post personal content. I don't normally talk about myself. I mean, God, I say everything on the podcast, but I don't like go post about it, on like my personal channels, because like I feel like I can be anybody on the podcast, right? Like I can be anybody, but like, why can't I be me for me, And so like I'm getting comfortable with that authenticity and showing up in a different form. So that's been disruptive. Another thing that I wrote out, we talk about abundance. Like, who doesn't want to bring in abundance, right? Well, for the first time ever, I asked for a raise at work. I've never asked for a raise at work. And I wrote out a whole proposal, and, I have no idea what's going to come from it. I don't know if I'll actually get it approved, but I don't care because it stepped me out of my timeline. Like, I would love to get the raise, right? But at the same time, I don't have any attachment to the outcome. All I know is that what I did is just signaling to the universe that I am ready for more. My capacity expands. My nervous system is regulated. I would like this or that, And I don't even know if this job is my job either, right? Like, I don't know if that's exactly my dream job, but I'm taking these actionable steps to disrupt my pattern. And I've done it every day this week with so much fucking confidence. And like, Tressa's like, I have no fear. And I'm pretty like bold, normal person. But, like there are those moments but this is also my worth, right? Like, am I even worthy to ask for more money? Or am I even worthy to submit this jewelry design? Or, you know what I mean? Like those the monkey mind and worth and value, and you get in your head. And I've just been like, fuck it. I don't know. I'm making videos and sending shit and doing shit. And I talked about before the desire to write a book. Well, I messaged the person this week and asked about publishing, and they're like, oh, you could do it for free on Amazon. Like, I'm doing the work. I'm asking the questions. And to me, it's been just so cool. Like, nothing has specifically happened. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have like results, but the stuff that I've done, just the joy and the signaling to the universe that I've done fearlessly, I can give so much gratitude and recognition to that, just because I've tried to step out of my pattern every day this week.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's so true. I think it's probably been 4 or 5 years ago, I started really understanding flow, like letting things flow the way they need to. And even if it's a day that, like, I used to be a list person, I used to have to do, like, even cleaning my house, I had to do it in a certain order. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started to I was stupid. I started to let go of that stuff, right? And just let things flow and to really trust that your guidance system, right? And ever since I've let go of that, things happen so much easier. Like, it's like, even if I think, okay, here's what I'd like to accomplish today. And, if I would have been in list mode, I would have listed those out and thought, there's no fucking way this is all going to occur. Just no way. Now I just kind of put it out there mentally, let it flow. And it always aligns in just the perfect timing. And even if something doesn't get done, or I don't get to accomplish something that was on my mind, it always happens maybe 2 days later or 3 days later or the next day, and it's better than it would have actually been that day. You know, that's the kind of stuff I like to do and think about. And that's disrupting that control energy.
Yeah.
Disrupting that, you have to do X, Y, and Z in 1, 2, 3 way.
Yeah.
And so even if you just start with that, But I like where you're going and doing things that are uncomfortable. And it's funny you
Mhm.
said, well, maybe posting isn't my jam but I have posted more too.
Yeah.
It's rare that I post stuff from myself. A lot of times I'll just share a
Yeah.
post or,
Yeah, I do
something like
too.
that. But I've been more drawn to that too, like letting your voice be heard, not being
Yeah.
afraid to stand up and be bold and
Yeah.
speak your truth. So I love that.
Yeah. This came to me. This is not totally in the episode, but when you were saying, I feel like I needed to share it, even if it's just for you, Tressa.
Yeah.
I saw this thing this week where this person said they use it as a manifestation technique, but I like it. I think that, yes, it could be a form of manifestation, but I love it in the form of surrender also and releasing that control to the universe, right? Which is manifestation. I mean, it all goes in hand. But this person, they make a list and they split it in half. And on one half of the list, they write Tressa. And on the other half of the list, they write universe. And so anything that they can actually do, accomplish, control, that or whatever, they would put it on under Tressa. But like, for example, if Tressa had an outstanding brand deal, I'm just making up something, and nobody was paying you back, or like you were waiting on a refund for your car or something like a repair or whatever it is, and you've been
Something I
hounding these
couldn't
people and you're
direct
getting,
control.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. You would write down that to the universe or like even something else, like, like even if it's a project for work, it doesn't have to be something like money or whatever. It could be a car key's missing. You've been missing a car key for days and you're
Yeah.
pissed off and you're like, fuck, I don't even know what this key is. I can't find it. And you just write it to the universe and you let it go in those moments. This individual said when they've done that, they've watched so much stuff unfold for them so much faster, but it also eases their anxiety. It teaches surrender. It puts into flow. So I don't know. I wanted to share that. I thought that was a cool thing to do. Uh, just like as Tressa, you were talking about being a list
Yeah.
maker, and I know you
Yeah.
used to like lists. So like it's
Yeah,
basically a to-do list, but you're telling the universe you're going to do this for
Yeah.
me.
I
You're
love
you're going
that.
to do this for me. I ain't doing this. You're doing this for me, and the universe responds. And so I don't know. I wanted to share that because I thought it was someone needed to hear it, even
I
if
might
it
have
was
to
just
try
you.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try it. I want to try it. I'll try it this
Yeah,
week.
try and report back.
Yeah, we can report back. Yeah.
Yes.
Weren't we supposed to were we supposed to report back? I don't remember if we talked about if it was just you and I personally or if we talked about it on the podcast. The goddess Lake Shimi and her vibration.
We did. We did. We
Yeah.
talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Did we
And
talk
then I
about it on the
had
podcast?
I don't think we talked about
I
it on
don't
the
think we did.
podcast.
Okay. Well, maybe
No.
we'll save that for
That'd be a
next
good
time.
episode. Yeah.
That would be. Okay. Maybe we know what we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh, tune
all right.
in.
Tune in, people.
The
Subscribe. We don't
cliffhanger.
ask for a lot because we just do this because we love it. Eventually, we could be viral. So,
Yeah.
share
You know
us.
you want us to be.
Yeah, you do.
Universe. We're putting it out there.
Yeah, we're putting it on the universe list.
First list.
All right. Well, until next time, keep your vibrations way high.
And stay sassy.